Hello and a very good afternoon. Thank you and a very warm welcome to Executive Talks. This is a virtual space where executives talk and executives listen. Today, something that I would like to believe is that it is safe to say that Sri Lanka is now almost in the process of recovering from the third wave of the pandemic. But with that said, I think something that everyone in the corporate world had in common was how we had to adjust and readjust to the new normal ever since day one of the pandemic. And this new normal also included working from home. So, although it has been quite difficult, I believe something that we definitely didn't give ourselves enough credit for is the way that we have adapted each time, including how creative and how hardworking we have all been over the past 1.5 years. So, to make sure that and that was all to make sure that we have always given our best to overcome any possible challenges and so on. But when we talk about working from home, are there best practices followed when working from home? Or have we missed out on any? And to speak to you about it, we have with us a true leader in employee engagement and transformation. We have with us Navin Rupasinghe. Hi, Navin. How are you?
Hi, Dumi. Good afternoon. Pleasure to be here.
Good afternoon, and the pleasure is all ours. Thank you for joining in, and we warmly welcome you to our channel. And with that, since we are officially beginning the program, we have a wide range of viewers with us today. And I think the world would love to hear more about you. And I believe only you could do justice to that. So, could I invite you to tell us more about yourself and the wonderful work that you do?
Sure. So I did my bachelor's in human resource management. So after completing my degree in 2006 December, then I was looking for my opportunities in starting my career. So I was applying for several organizations, and of course, there was opportunity at Demo for a trainee HR officer. So that was actually an unexecutive question, but I thought I should go for that. And I actually didn't know much about Demo. I only knew that two brands that associated with Demo, Tata and Mercedes Benz. Yeah. So I thought it's okay. I will go for it because I need to start it somewhere. So I applied, and after the interview, they actually offered me a junior HR executive. I was very excited. I was actually given the responsibility of managing employee attendance. That was my responsibility. So after two months, the colleague who was looking after training and development, uh, she left, and then I was given the challenge in looking after training and development. So that is where I would say where my career started, my journey started. So from 2007 to date, I'm at Demo. Today, I hold the position of Deputy General Manager, Employee Engagement and Transformation. Uh, so the organization has come a long journey with a lot of transformation, a lot of changes, and employee engagement was not even spoken of in 2007, I would say. Uh, but today, it is one of the key KPIs, even of our chairman. So that itself shows the importance for the organization.
Yeah, definitely. And it's wonderful to hear about your journey, and it's a very beautiful journey from what I hear. So I'm happy and thankful that you're sharing it with us. And since we know a little bit about your journey and yourself, we would also like to get to know a little bit more onto your personal side as well. So, in order to do that, we have a quick rapid fire round. And how it works is I will give you a few options and you can select the one that you feel suits you best. All right, Naveen,
Sure,
so shall we go ahead?
sure.
All
Yep,
right, okay. So the first question is, are you a tea or a coffee person?
definitely coffee.
Okay, understood. A cricket or a rugby person?
Sri Lanka, we always love cricket, so yeah, cricket is my first choice. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, do you have a favorite cricketer or not?
Well, yes, I do. Of course, Kumar Sangakkar, even though he's not still playing, I still follow him how he coaches the IPL, his team Rajasthan Royals. So, yeah, big fan of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, Kumar Sangakkara is an all-time favorite of everyone, I'm sure. All right. So, the next question is life without music or life without movies?
Oh, tough one. Uh, well, I would say that I will go with movies because I'm a person who loves watching movies and all these fantasy movies, even though they are not real. I really enjoy watching these superheroes and Star Wars, and I live in that world most of the time when I'm not working. Yeah.
Nice. That's wonderful. And so are we actually. So completely understand. Holiday by the sea or holiday in the mountains, Naveen?
By the sea. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. And then the last rapid fire question is work from home or back to office?
Oh, well, I was waiting to go back to office this Monday. So yeah, I would say back to office, yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'm guessing you're not back to office as yet. Is that right?
We started actually this Monday. We started working at office again. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, good to be back.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, wonderful, Naveen. And that concludes our rapid fire round. And I'm sure our viewers and definitely me, we've all got to know a little bit more about you as well. Okay, so with that said, let's go on to move on to the more relevant topic and the question that everyone has in mind. And the question is, do you think that work from home is effective?
Well, Dumi, as you correctly said at the beginning, 1.5 years ago, when things changed, not only for Sri Lanka or the organizations in Sri Lanka, but across the world as well. So most of the companies were not ready for this. Yeah. But of course, the tech companies, of course, they work flexi hours, they work from home. It is not a big deal for them. But for a company like us, who are, the physical interaction is very important for our business. We have a very diversified set of businesses we have. So that physical interaction is very important. The physical presence is very important. Uh, it was a huge challenge to manage working from home. I'll take example. Now, one of our strengths is after sales service. Now, I'll take with one of our brands, Mercedes-Benz. If you are one of our customers, if you want to repair a vehicle, how we are going to do this? Yeah, working from home. It's a huge challenge for us. So we have more than 300 work work workshop staff with us. So these individuals, I'm taking just one sample, right? How we are going to manage. So it was a huge challenge, but it was required as well at the same time. Yeah. So but I would say we really faced it very well. We adapted, we changed, not only the management, not only the organization, but most importantly, the employees who had to adapt to this change. Yeah. So some employees, even though they knew it's a huge risk, they still had to come to work uh, to do these services, for example, right? So they had to totally depend on how well we will look after them as the organization if they are coming to work. So it's all based on the trust the employees had with the organization to adapt to these changes.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Well understood. And yeah, I believe a lot of people did adapt, like you said. And even though it was a huge risk for them, they did make sure to make it happen as well, which is amazing. So, but okay, like when we talk about employees going in and employees working hard to make to keep the operations flowing. There are also some employees that complain that they work more during this pandemic, and that especially when it comes to back office, and when they're always on their laptop, they're always working, and there is no such thing as 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 anymore, and it ends up being 8 a.m. to about 10 p.m. So what are your thoughts on it, Navin? Is it
Uh,
really right?
well, okay, the challenge is, I mean, when you're working from home, you need to have the right environment to work from home. I mean, if I wish if I could just go into a room, lock the door, and work. But when you are really, when you are at home, it's not possible. I have a 10-year-old kid who's studying at home, right? He's online the schooling, so he's there. So obviously when I'm home for him, I'm home. Whether I'm working or not, for him it's I'm home. So similarly, everybody feels this challenge, right? So uh, when we physically went to office, it was a time. We know that we have to go to work at 8. We can get off into the vehicle at 5 o'clock and go back home. So we know that everybody, it's clear for everybody that there is a time period for us to work, right? But when you are home, that we do not tend to think that way. Sometimes your superior might ask for do a report at 4:55 uh, and expect you to complete and send it to him within the day. So obviously you are in a huge it's a challenge and you are facing a lot of difficulties, especially women who are working. I know for a fact they are facing a lot of challenges. It's not they are waiting to go home at 5 o'clock because they have a lot of work to do at home. But when some work comes up at 5 o'clock, just because they're at home, it doesn't mean that that is the only thing they have to do. There is a lot they need to do at home, right? So this is a huge challenge, and we are seeing these lot of employees have expressed as HR, obviously, when they have concerns, they have difficulties, they talk to us. So there are a lot of adjustments we have to make as management as well, and make our first line managers understand that you need to ensure that you give them the space to be, that personal time, the work life balance is very important, and you need to allow them to have that time. Otherwise, they get exhausted and you will not get the 100% that you require as when you're present at office.
Exactly. Yeah, completely understand, Navin. And a very true fact that you brought up, that it is indeed very challenging, and burnout is also on the cards when we talk about something like this. So, in order to prevent such challenges, what do you suggest, Navin, are the best practices that we can follow to have effectiveness while working from home?
Well, as an organization, we need to understand that the technology plays a huge role here if you are working from home. Yeah. So now, when you talk about employee experience, there are three things that you experience: the digital experience, the cultural experience, and the physical experience. Here, the physical experience is disappeared. So only the digital experience and the cultural experience is maneuvered. Now, those two are managed by two important departments in an organization: the HR department and the IT department. We never hear IT department and HR department working together, right? We never hear that, right? But this situation forced both of these most important departments to work together. Now, for example, a lot of employees started complaining when the work from home situation started, saying that their internet is slow, their computer is not functioning properly, we do not have enough data. These are the common issues that everybody had. As HR, we had to work with IT to ensure that these issues are resolved as soon as possible, because otherwise they get demotivated, they are unable to deliver what is expected, and they get stressed out. So it's very important that uh, this connection between IT department and HR department is aligned, understanding the strategy of the organization and delivering what is expected to ensure that employees are given the necessary tools and equipment to deliver what is expected. Yeah, and then of course the most important thing is that we set a time period to work. Even though we are working from home, as we previously discussed, we need to set a time there. We should not put meetings at 5 o'clock and go till 8 o'clock, right? So that really, it will demotivate and disengage the employee in the worst possible way, and we do not want that. So we need to be aware, as management, as managers, these things and ensure that they are followed. And another thing is that we have to communicate always with the employees. Now, the physical experience, as I told you, is zero when you're working from home. But still, the manager has to ensure that that interaction should be maintained, right? So video chats, continuous, checking on the employee whether he's doing okay, what are the challenges he or she has. These interactions is very important. That communication, ensuring that communication happens always, as if you are at office. For example, right, in the office, I can go to my boss at any time and get a clarification whenever I want. But here you cannot. So as a manager, you have to ensure that you look at the phone and answer, or WhatsApp message, you respond to it quickly. So these are few things we need to adjust and change. Then only we can give the right environment for the employees to get the work done in such a work from home situation.
Okay, all right. So you believe this is what happens, and companies are taking these measures to make sure that effective work from home does happen, right? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, with that in mind, because you mentioned that communication and interaction must take place and that it is essential for something like this to happen and for work from home to be effective. So, in your opinion, Navin, how can we keep the employees engaged while working from home? Apart from the interaction, the constant interaction, are there any further tips that you could give to our viewers on how they can keep employees engaged while working from home?
Yeah, so as I told you, with that when I talk about the employee experience, the physical experience became zero. So I'll take example for our organization. We had Aurdutsava, we had Vesak Lantern competitions, we had sing-alongs, we had art competitions, kiddies, parties, so many things we have lined up every year. Employees wait for these activities to happen. So every month there was at least one or two such activities happening, right? With the management doing a lot of reward and recognitions activities, the best employee of the month, best employee of the year, best salesman, best serviceman, all this happened. But suddenly with this challenge, uh, these things suddenly, stopped. So as an organization, even though we are working from home, we are totally dependent on a digital environment, we still have to maintain these things. It's a very important. So as an organization, we took up this challenge as HR department. We had to ensure that we keep this engagement going. We actually created a platform online, actually a Facebook group, closed group only for the employees. Uh, so we invited all employees to join the group. So the first message went from the chairman. The I can still remember 1 week after the lockdown on March 21st, 2020. Chairman first message was that he ensured job security for every employee, which was the most important thing. I mean, unlike other companies, we are a very diversified business organization. So there are a lot of businesses in our organization. So, for example, automobile sector was badly hit because of the ban on importation of vehicles. So there is a huge number of employees was affected by it, but still he uh, ensured that everybody's jobs are secured. Yeah, so that communication was very important. With that communication, then we promoted the page for employees to join in this group, Facebook group, ask every employee to join in the group. So we had a platform to communicate to everybody. Every workshop staff member, everybody joined in. Everybody has a Facebook account these days. So everybody joined in. So we knew that when we had more than 1,000 employees in the group, then we knew that we are reaching to at least 75% of the employees across the organization. So then we started communicating all these activities, online so online Vesak Lantern competitions. So many activities started coming in. And then not only for employees, we mainly focused on children, employees' children, and their wives even. We had cooking shows, we had art competitions for kids. So a lot of things happen for them. We wanted to make them feel that even though this is a lockdown, even though we have no interaction, but there is still a lot of things happening, yeah, in the organization, and they are part of it. So everybody was struggling with many problems, right? But at the same time, we were giving them in some way some sort of happiness and satisfaction to not only think about work but something else. Yeah. So that was one of the things that we successfully did, and I think that is very important for any organization to ensure that engagement is maintained, is very well managed, because it's very important. Because as you said, now we are returning back to work. We want a set of employees who are engaged coming back to work, not disengaged coming back to work, because there are more challenges in time to come. We don't know whether the fourth wave will come back again. uh, we are not sure about that. So to do to face whatever challenges, we need an engaged workforce. So that is very important.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Completely understand, Navin. And I think, like you mentioned, inclusion is something that we all prefer and love to feel, because and just knowing that there is that security can take everyone a long way. So it's amazing to hear that there are companies out there that are taking measures to make sure that their staff are included and always having that engagement. And so, okay, so with that, there is also one question that has come in, and that question is relating to how there are some instances, because like sometimes, like you mentioned before, that management does understand and should understand that just because we're working from home, it doesn't always mean that we are available all the time. So in that case, is there the question is relating to whether, if the management does not exactly take such measures, or rather if they want the particular staff member to make sure that they complete such tasks, and they always give in the tasks at different times, and they expect it at immediately, what sort of thing do you suggest they do? Like, do you suggest they talk about it, or do you suggest they like, what sort of action do you think they should take if it is a continuous if it's a
Well,
continuous.
it's all about how the relationship between the manager and the subordinate, right? Now, for example, in my case, yesterday my superior wanted to have a quick chat on a Saturday at 9:30. She wanted to have a quick chat, something urgent she wanted to talk about. So it took more than 45 minutes, but it is understood that she pointed out this is the situation. There's something that I really urgently need to talk. I need to talk with all the top managers in my department, and we understood. So it was communicated well in advance. We understood the importance of it. So it was very clear. But it does not happen all the time. I mean, I know a lot of managers are under pressure to get things done, right? They do not think, when they're under pressure, they do not think about your subordinates' issues that they have, the issues they have at home. They, they not that they are inhuman or anything like that. It's just the pressure creates in such a situation that they just want to get the work done, right? So what is important is that you let the employee communicate with you, talk with you. If there was a situation where they were not happy about it, something where you ask them to work till 12 a.m. in the night and get the task done, right? Of course, there are a lot of struggles. So you need to allow the staff member to talk to you about it whenever possible. I mean, once the job is done, you know that for a fact that he has been working till 12 a.m. in the night. When you get the mail, you see the time that he has sent the mail. So obviously, So at least a word of appreciation is required to show that I know you work till late. I'm sorry about this, but this was urgent. That's why I wanted you to do this. So that creates that understanding. Of course, if the staff member has to say something, he or she will tell at that point. So that kind of communication, that kind of understanding is very much important. As I told you, the physical experience is limited right now. So now it is more than ever important that this video conferencing, talking, giving feedback, whether it's on the computer, over the phone, doesn't matter. But it has to happen in a frequently, even every day. Now, for example, my team, I have a separate chat to talk, communicate with all my team members. So every issue they have, everything they have, they share with us, with me basically, everybody in the team, and I communicate with them. Everything happening, every important communication happening from the management, everything I want to say or do, I communicate with them. So if they have an issue, one person saying I am unable to do this, I have some another commitment at home, another person will say, don't worry, I will do that. It's a matter of the synergy you create within your team. It help allow you to not have such difficult situations. So it all depends on how your management style, how well you can understand the situation, how you manage it. So it all depends on that.
Okay, all right. I'm sure that answered the question that did come in as well. And with that, we also have another question, Navin. The question is, what do you think Sri Lankan companies are lacking when working from home?
Well, what I think we need to understand is that a lot of Sri Lankan companies are not looking at employee engagement as a important indicator in organization success, because if you have 100% engaged staff, uh, it's guaranteed that whatever challenge you have, they will support the organization to achieve those tasks, right? So right now, our in Sri Lankan organization, most of the organization, I would say, do not understand what is employee engagement is. It is not only about doing some activities and making them happy for that moment. It's not about that. The engagement happens between the manager and the subordinate, right? An employee leaves not the organization but the manager. These are the basic things we need to understand. So that that connection is very important. Now we as an organization had a lot of challenges where some of the business lines, for example in ours, we had to slow them down a bit and focus on other businesses because of the various problems that we had due to the situation. So the employees, maybe we had to transfer them to another business. uh, Usually there will be a lot of resistance that could happen, but in our case that did not happen because our employees were very they are very proud about our organization. They love their work and they know that the company will always look after them very well. This has come a long way, a long journey to build that trust. Yeah. So that because of that they were ready to take up the challenge. They were ready to adapt, change, and support the organization uh, go achieve the results. So they know that as long as company does well, they will be looked after. So that understanding, any organization need to have with regard to employee engagement. Now employee engagement is one of the KPIs of our management. The Even the director board employee engagement score is one of the KPIs, because they know that an engaged workforce will ensure that We will have very happy customer base, and happy customer base means more revenue. So simple as that, and return customers. Yeah. So we need to understand that, and if we can understand that, then we will ensure that we closely monitor employee engagement and work towards improving that.
Okay, all right, Navin. Yep, I'm sure that answered one of the questions that did come in. And since we're in the question and answer session, also another question that has come in is relating to the distractions that uh, tend to come up during the day, and how you suggest they manage such distractions, especially when it becomes an extreme challenge and turns towards the more demotivating side. As an employee, how would you suggest to overcome?
Well, distractions come in many forms, I would say, while working, right? Some negative feedback can easily distract you, but it all depends on how you take feedback. You should be ready to take feedback in the most constructive way possible, because you should be ready to take positive and negative feedback. I used to be very demotivated when I get negative feedback, but as I matured, I understood that that is the most important feedback in order for me to grow as an individual and be successful in my career, right? So that is something we really need to focus on, think about. At the same time, if your environment doesn't allow you to focus on your work, you should fix your environment. I would say don't blame anybody. Don't blame your manager. Don't blame the organization. Fix your environment. That's what I would always tell my team. Don't blame me. Don't blame the whoever's around you. You figure out the best environment for you to give the 100%. That is the best option we should do, because end of the day, your effort is measured by how well you perform. So you're saying you cannot just say that all these distractions didn't allow me to perform. That is not going to help you grow. Yeah. So that is what I think. Yeah.
Okay, all right, understood. And I think taking up responsibility and accountability will also maybe reduce the distractions to some extent. And with that, we have officially concluded the question and answer session, and also some of our questions that we had for you as well, Naveen. Before we wrap up, since Executive Talks is an upcoming channel for executives, do you have what are your thoughts on Executive Talks, and how would you recommend it to everyone that is watching it?
Well, I think this is very important for individuals like us to share our experience, our knowledge, and on important subject areas like employee engagement, for example, uh, something that not lot of uh, channels or anywhere I've seen people talking about. It's just a topic that you'll be talking for one or two sentences, and then go to the next topic. But these are going to be very important topics in time to come, and I am glad that executive talks actually shows the importance in it, and because employee engagement is going to be the key in the new normal for to get the work done from employees. And I think I'm glad you all are focusing on areas like that, and I hope you will continue to focus on these areas. Great effort. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy that I was given the opportunity to express my thoughts about employee engagement.
And Naveen, it's greatly appreciated, and we are more than grateful that you took time off your busy schedule to join us today and be here with us to share your perspective and to share your thoughts, and also help a lot of people that are that I believe did need to hear this from an individual that is in the industry. So thank you so much for joining us and for giving us your perspective and insight into this relevant topic, especially during these days. And before we conclude, I would like to invite all our viewers to stay connected with us in the future as well, because we will be talking to a lot more individuals just like Navin to get their very important and expertise knowledge on such topics and the industry as well. And as always, we would love to get to know more people from around the world as well. And if there is anyone that we would like to share the expertise and knowledge via executive talks, please do connect with us via the WhatsApp number. And on that note, a huge thank you once again to you, Naveen. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to our wonderful viewers as well. Please do stay safe, stay home, and take all the necessary actions as much as possible to make sure that you keep your loved ones, yourself, and everyone around you safe enough to overcome this pandemic. And with that said, thank you very much once again, Naveen. Thank you, and have a very pleasant week ahead.
You too. Thank you very much, Domain.